2017 is coming to a close, and this is now my 5th year reviewing a whole year of anime. But before we jump into what 2017 did for anime, what happened in the rest of the world? The eclipse happened for America, causing a nationwide purge of sight for people who took the advice of every possible outlet telling them not to stare directly at it as a fucking dare. This was swiftly followed by hallucinations of a giant man in black armor with a massive sword shouting angrily at the sky. It was a tough year for tragic events, stories of sexual harassment coming to light, and North Korean threat ever stronger, which is no surprise that the biggest group of people causing us to lose faith in humanity this year was Rick and Morty fans, by completely losing their shit caused by massive outrage over a bit of teriyaki sauce mixed with ketchup. And of course, the fidget spinner craze took over the world, showing the terrifying power of having a mildly satisfying feeling in your hands. In response, the World Health Organization advised people to start take up smoking instead, with new research coming to light suggesting it would pose a significantly less risk to cancer. But of course, we're here to talk about the last year in anime and everything that happened in our community. Of course, I won't be able to cover everything, but I will do my best. So as we roll back the clock to winter, the community found some love during the cold months to warm our icy hearts in DreamWorks' highly acclaimed How to Train Your Dragon waifu. This year started off with some wholesome goodness as Miss Kobayashi's Maid Dragon proved to us that the King of Cute still firmly remains in Kyoto Animation's hands. It was the show that grabbed the community for some reason. I mean, I don't know what's so great about a dragon in a maid outfit. I mean, sure, she's cute and all, but I don't really see why the community would go crazy about this.
Look at this dragon! Look at her!
A lonely adult working woman as she one day finds a dragon at her doorstep who enthusiastically offers to be her maid. And thus we follow the daily life of Kobayashi as along the way she meets an assortment of dragons who all end up growing a close bond to her, wanting to stay by her side, of course making her true name Miss Kobayashi. Stormborn of House Targaryen, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains. Beyond this, it was just a heartwarming tale about family values and how we can find family with the people we meet and spend time with, even if those bonds aren't made by blood. But let's be real here, we all know the true reason we watched the show, as Kana's cuteness dominated the community for that season. Clips and gifs flooded all of social media with Kana scenes, signifying the next level of cute animal videos, detailing these terrifying, ancient, mythical creatures becoming domesticated for our viewing pleasure. Who can destroy the world and bring about the apocalypse? Yes, you can! Yes, you can! On a side note, the official music video for the OP is one of the most unintentionally entertaining things to come out of this, just because this guitarist is the epitome of that unimpressed normie friend you see at anime conventions, being forced into doing this weird weeb shit that he doesn't get. In the rest of the winter, Fuka gave an anime adaptation for a manga that caused major controversy for its pre-existing fans by completely changing major plot points only to diverge entirely by the second half of the show. While many argued the anime was doomed from the beginning without enough episodes to properly conclude the events laid out in the beginning of the manga, it was clear that either way, the adaptation really got hit by a truck. Oh wait. No, it fucking didn't. After much anticipation from its highly successful OVAs, Studio Trigger finally debuted the first full season of Boku no Chibi Potter Academia. Despite the mostly positive reception it received from viewers and the hype it had going for it, it failed to make a big impact on the community, marking the first time fans really felt the effect of a highly anticipated anime being held hostage behind the red bars of Netflix's prison, a pattern that would soon be felt more as the year went by. Yojo Senki gave us another contender for Lolly of the Season with the story of a middle-aged man trapped in the body of a 9-year-old girl during an alternate reality World War I. Yes, Kana has her work cut out as she may have her adorable eating scenes, but how can she possibly compete with the precious smile of crazy rocket lolly Hitler murdering hundreds of soldiers? Cute! Rakugo Shinju got another season, giving me a chance to redeem myself from the endless comments I got for missing this masterpiece in last year's rundown. So now that I've been given this chance, I can safely say that Masamune-kun's Revenge was a tsundere harem junk food that I actually enjoyed a lot. A tale about an overly confident narcissistic arsehole trying to get revenge over a stoic tsundere bitch who rejected him ages ago because he was fat. Which sounds cheesy and dumb, and was cheesy and dumb, but somehow ended up being the perfect popcorn entertainment rom-com. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll talk about Rakugo. Past the first season's somewhat disconnected 45-minute slow burn of a first episode that turned me and a lot of people off initially, Rakugo demonstrates some of the best that anime has to offer. It's a beautiful character-driven story told through Rakugo, the not so well-known art form that it is, but the characters surrounding this concept are so well fleshed out and compelling that it was simply a joy to experience life in their shoes, and this season followed suit from the first to definitely become one of the contenders of Anime of the Year. Handshakers gave us a highly ambitious car crash about a group of kids who get superpowers by holding hands, and if that sounds bad to you, don't worry. That was the best part of the show. Yes, if the audience weren't put off by enough excessive camera movements to induce motion sickness, then its visual style was so ugly I now have a permanent phobia of badly animated CG chains. Our favourite lovable cast of idiots returned for another season in Konosuba 2, giving us the fun, stupid fantasy adventures that is basically the animated experience of playing Dungeons & Dragons with a group of drunk pissheads. Scum's Wish gave us a drama about a group of scummy people being scummy with each other because everyone's in a relationship where they'd rather be with someone else. That's right, it's an anime set in Cuckfield where it's always NTR o'clock, so of course with such a recipe, it was only ever going to end one way. Yep, it's the return of everyone's favourite old friend.
If you're happy, 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 clap your hands.
And finally, the surprise hit of the season came with Kimono Friends, which took Japan by storm, with its depiction of cute little anthropomorphized anime girls, to which my first thought was, wow, I fucking wonder why. But the series turned out to be a light-hearted original experience for anime that no one expected, fueled by the fact that during a promotional run at a zoo, one of the cardboard cutouts caught the affection of a lone penguin. Grape-kun. Yes, the story of Grape-kun and his waifu exploded on the internet, and how could it not? It's fucking adorable, as of course the internet has never had any obsession with any animal ever before. Unfortunately, a few months later, Grape-kun did pass away, and of course the anime community mourned at the loss of one of our own, showing that our love for waifus transcends gender, belief, and species. Rest in peace, Grape-kun. Jesus may have died for our sins, but Grape-kun died for our waifus. As spring rolled around, there was much anticipation in the air as two of the hottest properties in the last few years were back and vying for the top spot in the battle of Season 2s. One was The Old King finally back after many years of anticipation, and the other was the new kid on the block continuing to make a name for themselves in this new era. That's right, the boys were back in town. After 4 years of waiting, Attack on Titan returned to us, and it was almost like it never left. Titans once again walked the line of pants-shittingly terrifying to pants-shittingly stupid. Eren was still a loud, uptight fuck who couldn't stop failing at life, and once again we were given an opening that everyone thinks they can sing, even though they only literally know one word. Tonally, however, this season was far different from the previous one, focusing more on mystery and horror than all-out action and hype. But despite being the sequel to one of the hottest anime properties of all time, the hype surrounding it was nowhere near what it was during its peak in Season 1, showing us that waiting 4 years probably wasn't the best thing to do, as this new seasonal anime climate has given the community a collective memory that lasts about 3.5 days. While undoubtedly it was still popular, the series that rose up to take the spotlight for the community was My Hero Academia. Though the first season was highly loved by shonen fans, it was this season that really catapulted it into sky-high popularity. Most likely for its longer run, the absolute hype surrounding its take on its structured series of individual fights arc, and for hosting one of the standout fights in the year for anime. That's right, Boku no Hero Academia versus My Hero Academia.
It's My Hero Academia! It's Boku no Hero Academia! Stop trying to be Japanese, you weeb! It just rolls off the tongue better! Why can't we just call it Hero Aka?
Well, I call it Macadamia!
What is wrong with you? I have nothing more to add over the things I've said and have been saying since last year's recap, as it just continues to be a very high quality shonen action show staying true to its genre's roots. Ultimately, which title won the Battle of Season 2s? Well, there's only one way we can settle this. What, you really want me to bring it back one last time? Fine. Structured series of individual fights! In In the rest of the season, King's Avatar gave China's first attempt at giving the world an esports anime. That was less an esports anime and more an ex-pro making a bunch of new friends by dicking about in bronze in anime smurfing, The Direst Chronicles. Akashic Records of I thought we'd grown out of the Battle Harem Magic High School phase by now anime gave us a Magic High School where the most magical thing was how they confused the stripper outfit for a school uniform. As only the girls seemingly need to wear it, it's degrading, objectifying, and I am so horrified that I want to meet the genius who approved this. Seriously, who thought of this? I need to shake his hand. We got a continuation to our favorite loud yellow-haired ninja that everyone expected to suck, but actually turned out to be a great homage to what made the original anime appeal to us in the first place while tackling it in a new enough way to keep it fresh. In Naruto-san, child of Boruto's dad. The suffering continued as Berserk 2017 continued kicking fans while they were down who were still left in agony from last year thinking, well, at least there's no way it can look any worse than Berserk 2016. Oh god, what have you done? Put your glasses on, nothing will be wrong. I don't get what you guys are complaining about. I mean, it's still better than those. Hey, hold on. The sleeper hit of the season was Sugi Kakire, a grounded portrayal of teenage relationships that unfortunately got swept under the masses of big shows this season. One of the most realistic takes of adolescent romance I have seen recently that breaks all the bullshit conventions you normally see in anime. Like no overdramatic melodrama, parents are actually present, and they even show the superpower granted only to us introverts. Communication through awkward silences. I know the feel, bro. Meta was taken to a whole new level as recreators gave us a show about anime and game characters being transported to the real world and meeting their creators. Yes, we had Budget Saber meeting her author, should have been a Monogatari villain versus should have been a JoJo character, and Madoka Magica causing collateral damage with her completely OP friendship powers. God, I love this fucking show. The only thing missing was for an isekai character to be transported to their world where he would get confused thinking he was transported back to his home world. Kado, the right answer, gave us an interesting thought experiment of how easy it would be to advance the human race given new technology that could give us infinite resources and understanding of our universe. While interesting, it was obviously very unrealistic, as in reality it would never be this stupidly difficult to unite the human race under a technology that everyone would be able to use equally without being controlled by people for their own gain. Sword Oratoria, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon on the side gave us a side story to Dan Machi featuring not Hestia. But even this season it had competition for most overly convoluted title based on a light novel as What Do You Do at the End of the World? Are You Busy? Will You Save Us? Question marks included attempted its best to go over the word count limit for new anime titles on Mao. And finally, Eromanga Sensei exploded onto the scene, giving us the harem, incest, bait, lolly fan service absolutely none of us asked for, but we all watched anyway. Of course, following from Orihimo, it would have to do something special to make waves in the community, and that it certainly did. Combining elements of the absolute lowest parts of anime into one show and taking it just that level beyond. It was tasteless, it was pandering, it was downright questionably illegal. And just when you think it couldn't get any lower, it asks you to hold its spear while it jumps in the dumpster to take us further below.
Hi.
Despite the fact it was an absolutely awful show, we just couldn't stop watching before somehow enjoying the experience, then accepting it for the awful garbage that it was. And for better or worse, this year would not have been the same without it. Thank you, Eromanga Sensei, for providing us with such entertainment over the years and an endless well of memes. Thank you for uniting us and making us realize that we are all just a bunch of degenerates at heart. Goodbye, respectable taste in anime. Hello, FBI registry. The otaku fandom have spoken again, and the final answer to the rest of the world is that anime is trash. And so are we.